Good morning, everyone. In this session, we are going to learn about the organs of speech and their functions in pronunciation. As you all know, phonetics is that aspect of linguistics which deals with the study of speech sounds, with the production, transmission, and reception of the sounds used in human speech. An airstream mechanism is needed to provide the energy required for the production of speech sounds. The air that we breathe out, that is, the airstream expelled from the lungs, is modified to form speech sounds. This airstream involving lung air is called pulmonic airstream. There are two other airstream mechanisms, glottalic and velaric. The glottalic airstream mechanism, the closed glottis acts as the initiator of the air in the pharynx. In the velaric airstream mechanism, the back of the tongue sets in motion the air in the mouth. The airstream that is pushed out is called egressive, and that which is drawn in is called ingressive. For the production of speech sounds of most languages in the world, a pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism is used, that is, the lung air that is pushed out from the lungs. In fact, all the sounds of English and of most Indian languages are produced with pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. The airstream expelled from the lungs undergoes modification, and various organs in our body are involved in modifying it into speech sounds. These organs are called the organs of speech, though they have other functions to perform. The organs involved in the production of speech can be divided into three groups: the respiratory system, the phonatory system, and the articulatory system. First, we will look at the respiratory system. The respiratory system consists of the lungs, the muscles of the chest, and the windpipe or trachea. When the walls of the lungs contract by the action of the respiratory muscles, air from the lungs is pushed out. The air that passes out to the windpipe is utilized for the production of speech sounds. Thus, the function of the lungs and the windpipe is to provide the airstream required for the articulation of speech sounds. Next, we have the phonatory system. This comprises the larynx, which is situated at the top of the windpipe. It is commonly called Adam's apple. The air from the lungs passes out through the windpipe and the larynx. In the larynx is situated a pair of lip-like structures called the vocal cords or the vocal folds. They are placed horizontally from front to back. They are attached in the front and can be separated at the back. The space between the vocal cords is called the glottis. The glottis can be kept shut or open by holding the vocal cords together or apart. When we swallow food or water, the glottis is shut to prevent the food or water from entering the windpipe. When we breathe in and out, the glottis is open with the vocal cords drawn wide apart. In the production of certain speech sounds, the vocal cords are wide apart and the glottis is open so that the air passes out through it freely without any friction, producing a sound called breath. The speech sounds thus produced with the glottis wide open are called voiceless sounds. During the production of certain sounds, the vocal cords are loosely held together, and as the air from the lungs is pushed out, they vibrate, producing the sound called voice. The sounds thus produced with the vibration of the vocal cords are called voiced sounds. Next, we have the articulatory system. It consists of the pharynx, the oral cavity, mouth, and the nasal cavity. The air from the lungs passes out through the larynx into the pharynx and then out through the oral or nasal passage. And we have the roof of the mouth, which comprises of the teeth ridge, the hard palate, soft palate, and the uvula. The hard convex part immediately behind the upper front teeth is called the teeth ridge or the alveolar ridge or the alveolum. The hard concave area behind the teeth ridge is called the hard palate. The roof of the mouth then becomes soft and fleshy, and this soft portion is called the soft palate or velum. At the extreme end of the soft palate is the fleshy finger-like structure called the uvula. The soft palate can be lowered or raised. If the soft palate is raised so that it touches the back wall of the pharynx, the nasal passage will be closed and the air can escape only through the mouth. Sounds produced with the nasal passage closed in this way and air escaping through the mouth alone are called oral sounds. If the soft palate is lowered so that the nasal passage is open and the oral passage is blocked at some point, air can escape only through the nose. Sounds during the production of which air thus escapes only through the nose are called nasal sounds. And during the production of certain sounds, the soft palate is lowered with the nasal passage open and the oral passage also not blocked. Then the air from the lungs escapes simultaneously through the nose and the mouth. Such sounds are called nasalized sounds. And then we look at the tongue. The tongue is also an important speech organ. It does not have any physical divisions like the roof of the mouth, but for the sake of convenience, we can divide it into three main parts corresponding to the divisions of the roof of the mouth. Part of the tongue that lies opposite the teeth ridge when the tongue is in a position of rest is called the blade of the tongue. The extreme tip of the blade is called the tip. The tip and the blade together are called apex. The part of the tongue which lies opposite the hard palate when the speech organs are at rest is called the front of the tongue. The part of the tongue which lies opposite the soft palate when the speech organs are at rest is the back of the tongue. Thus, we come to the end of the session on the organs of speech. Thank you for listening.